across the Great Lakes State, you're connected to Michigan's most widely listened to radio program, Michigan's Big Show, starring Michael Patrick Shields.
I'm producer Michael Lepp.
I am world correspondent Nikki Hale.
This is meteorologist John McMurray.
And I'm creative director Dave Beagle.
Now, in the shadow of the Capitol Rotunda in Lansing, he's heard from the beaches of Lake Michigan to the shores of Lake Erie and right down Woodward Avenue. Here's Michigan's Michael Patrick Shields.
I think we need an Irish-American president. I nominate you.
Thank you, Michael. Good to be with you and to be with somebody who knows the big names in Michigan. J.P. McCarthy, Dick Burton. You've worked with the great ones.
Michael Patrick Shields is on the air.
Good morning, world. Good morning, Michigan. A very pleasant Thursday to you. 26 days left until the election. That's our AARP countdown from here in the AT&T studio at Grand Traverse Pie Company, just a block from the Capitol, and heard on radio stations in Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Holland, Muskegon, Traverse City, Petoskey, Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, Mount Pleasant, and here in the state capitol on Fox 47 television. Ronna Romney, twice a candidate for United States Senate, a radio host, Republican National Committee woman. She served on 2 presidential commissions, chaired them, in fact, and back in the day was the daughter-in-law of Michigan Governor George Romney and the sister-in-law to the presidential candidate, Mitt Romney, and a radio star in your own right. Welcome back to the airwaves.
It's just like putting on an old glove. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
How long did you do radio in Detroit?
Oh, off and on for about 4 or 5 years. I started at WXYT. We were talking about Denny McClain, worked with Denny McClain, and then moved on to WJR.
See, I got JP and Dick Burton, and you got Denny McClain.
Well,
sorry about that.
I will tell you, JP was instrumental in getting me to WJR. He'd heard me, and he wanted me over there, so he really became my mentor. And, of course, I adored him.
Yeah, he was something. I was so lucky to be with him. We were lucky to spend time with him.
Right.
And as you hear when we start the program every hour, that last voice,
yes,
when he says "Good morning, world," is JP, and that's Good my morning, world. Way of paying tribute to him for that. Yeah, the good old days.
Yes, and of course I brought a special.
You brought the
guest.
next generation.
I have brought my daughter Ronna Romney McDaniel.
Hello.
How are you? You're living in Michigan now, in Northville, is it?
I live in Northville. Yeah, I love it.
You ever go over to Cranbrook and wander around there and Kingswood and say, "Wow, this is where some history took place"?
I do. I've taken my kids to the bat show over there. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's
No,
pretty
I'd like to see
amazing.
that, though.
Oh yeah, they've got a sloth and bats and they fly. It's pretty amazing. I love Cranbrook.
Yeah, my son plays hockey there, not for Cranbrook, but they use the rink. He's at Brother Rice down the street there.
Oh, the good football team.
Yeah, that's them. Absolutely right. You know, I wonder sometimes, well, first of all, tell me and tell everybody your story.
My story.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm a Michigan girl, born and raised. My mother made sure that I went to college. I graduated from Michigan State. She said, be sure to graduate with a teacher's degree in case something ever happens to your husband. That's the generation that I was born in. Eventually, I married Scott Romney, who at that time, whose father was governor and running for president. And that really...
You met Scott while Governor George Romney was in office in Michigan.
Right. My sister Terry fixed me up with him. It was a blind date, and it was love at first sight.
Yeah.
And we fell in love and were married probably within about a year. And that really, for me, was life-changing because I came from a family that was not political. I mean, they weren't news junkies. My dad was a tool and die maker in Detroit. And that brought me into the world of politics. And like many women, it gave me the opportunity to find out some of my talents. And one of my great talents is organization. So I was used on and off all throughout Michigan for many, many years, just organizing projects. And then I also learned that I could speak, and I began to write books, and the story goes on and on. Unfortunately, our marriage ended, but our relationship remains very good. We had 5 children.
How did you do that? How did you keep such a friendly relationship through a divorce? A lot of people can't do that.
Well, I don't think when you're going through the divorce is particularly friendly, but we made the best of it because we each had very strong family support. Our families all knew each other, and we had 5 beautiful children. And because that's what you do the right thing for your children. And I continue to have a very nice relationship with Scott, and he has a lovely wife named Sherry, who I really, really like. So you just do it. I don't know how you do it.
Was it intimidating to date someone whose father was the governor?
I wasn't I was too young.
Really?
To even
Didn't
think
get the
about
gravity of the situation?
No. And even now, I think my children have been raised in politics. We don't get that impressed unless they actually do a good job. Then we're impressed.
So it doesn't happen often.
Actually, you're right.
Give us
that's why I'm here, because I really took a complete sabbatical from politics. I lost the 96 campaign to Levin, and then was offered an opportunity to move into the business world, which I took. And I did not miss politics at all. I didn't do anything. I didn't raise money. I didn't speak. But when Mitt decided to run, I looked at the world and I looked at this country and I thought, I have got to step back in and work as hard as I can for this man to save the country. And that is what I did. I am in here working for a cause. And it's great to really work for a candidate you believe in. So I believe in Mitt. And then Ronna stepped in, and she's been extraordinarily active in Michigan. And I mean, she has a different point of view, too. But I don't believe either one of us, these two Ronna Romneys, would work for anybody unless we believed in them.
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, unlike your mother, you were born into politics. You were probably born at a campaign event.
Absolutely. I think I was born at a campaign event, probably.
So you took to it. It's Women for Mitt is the group that you're heading up or working very strongly with. So speaking of Women for Mitt, the most important woman for Mitt is going to be in Michigan tomorrow, as I understand it, Ann Romney, and you will both be with her throughout the day?
Yes, we will. And I just have to tell you one thing. You were saying that she was born into politics. In our family, when we try to remember something, we relate it to a campaign. So we'll say, oh, that child was born during this campaign, or this happened.
Yeah.
And that's how that is that's the way I can recalculate and figure out when things happen. Ann will be here tomorrow.
Where will you be
She'll
going?
be
Do
in
you know
Grand
yet?
Rapids tomorrow.
Yeah, Hudsonville, I heard.
At some point during this broadcast, I will actually give you the details.
Oh, good.
Oh, here it is. Wow.
Hot off the
Out
press
of thin
from
air.
Ronna Romney McDaniel.
Ann Romney will be at Pinnacle Center on
That's Hudsonville,
Hudsonville, Michigan, yes. And the time will be...
It's early, I think. 8 or 9 in the morning, something like that. 8 in
I'm
the
looking
morning,
here.
I think.
It's 8 in the morning.
Is it?
8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Doors open at 7 a.m. The event is open to the public. Tickets can be reserved at Team Michigan at mittromney.com.
Yeah.
But you post this somewhere so people can
Yeah.
find it.
And I know there's a luncheon in Birmingham, is it maybe something like that? Because
Right.
Melanie Foster, the MSU trustee, invited my wife Christine to go to it. So
There is a luncheon tomorrow. I don't have all the details on that. We'll try and get that before the show's over.
What an interesting contrast. Ann Romney will be here tomorrow. You'll be with her. And then at the same time, Bill Clinton is coming in for Senator Stabenow. He's doing something in Royal Oak, a private fundraising lunch. I'm just saying there's a contrast. True?
Yeah, I'm sure he'd rather be with Ann Romney.
Well, we're glad you're with us and are going to be co-hosting, both of you, through the rest of the morning. It's Ronna Romney and Ronna Romney McDaniel. Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley will join us next because I know you're especially interested in the concept of a businessman president,
Right.
businessman governor. And so I'm going to turn the microphone over to you to speak with Brian Calley, and Ronna, you and I will take notes.
Okay, great.
And we'll learn a little something.
She has some questions, too.
Okay, then I'll be the one taking notes.
And she has a lot of stuff on sports.
Everything will be podcasted later today at mibigshow.com if you want to hear Ronna Romney's Return to Radio.
Yay!
And on Facebook, too, at Michigan's Big Show. We're back in a flash with more of your Thursday.
I will not do things that interfere with the rights of our citizens and their freedoms. At the same time, I support efforts like the Patriot Act and others to secure our nation from those who would attack us.
Robert is a product manager with